whatever that was about. I really hope Wipey just figures its shit out and the others can just fuck off or something. Or what the fuck is that? What?
You really think that's a nice way to talk to people?
You heard all that?
You were yelling right outside the house and inside the house. How am I not supposed to hear it?
Oh, yeah, Asher too. What, you're in the basement again? I hardly even know you're even around. Anyways, that with Wybie and Moss and Puffer, like, what do you want me to say? I was waiting on Wybie for almost 2 days now, and Wybie's out with Asher again, killing people. Like this is not it's not a mystery. It's not a question that we're asking. He's with Asher, killing.
For some reason, literally the guy kidnapped him. There's no way Wybie isn't being manipulated to kill people. He's a kid. You can't be that mad at him.
So he's killing either with or for Asher. What do you want? What logic do you want me to see out of that? Like, really?
Like he's a victim? I don't know.
What, you seem to have thoughts on the matter.
Thoughts that he's a kid probably being manipulated?
When he's the vice president of Marigold now? He was tasked with actually...
He shouldn't even be vice president.
Okay.
He's a kid.
Who gives a shit? He is. And that's just the way it is. He's got to step up to the role. So I don't appreciate that he's with Asher, of all people, and Asher's Goonies, either killing or helping Asher kill. When he was supposed to be doing something. Simon and I were. Why isn't he?
Sounded like he did the thing. He just didn't talk to you.
I don't even know how it went. He was even talking about it.
Because he just didn't tell you right away. You were busy, literally patrolling the place. How was he supposed to find you?
I'm only in really 2 places, here or, the building, but he's been gone this whole time. Nobody's seen him.
Clearly, Asher's seen him.
Yeah, Asher. The last person I want Asher to be friends with Wybie. Yeah. Anyways, what have you been up to? I know. I'm sorry you had to hear all that, but sorry, it was true what I said.
I've just been looking for Lucky after hearing that their house got fucking blown up.
Yeah, on my patrol I saw it. I didn't see Lucky. Have you seen Lucky? I know we haven't talked since, but I know you just come and go as you please. I should have assumed. I didn't mean it like that. Really? You didn't find anything?
Didn't find anything.
I don't know, man. That attack just seems so random for it to be Lucky's place and nowhere else. And it must have been when we were in San Jose, because we would have heard that, surely. Did you even notice Lucky's house as we came back?
No.
It must have just happened as we were gone and we just didn't even notice. Until Simon pointed it out.
I hope Lucky's okay.
Well, I don't want to assume the worst, but, no body, no death, right? But
you're so weird.
I have my own way of staying positive, okay? I've known Lucky too. I wouldn't say we're like the best of friends, but they're a good person. They're nice.
So weird you've gone from so many angry spots and you're just like, chill out right now. Why aren't you yelling at me? Do you want to yell at Asher? Do you want to yell at everybody else?
Asher is a murderer. You are not. At least you never showed me that you're a murderer. Asher's come here twice now. Did I tell you he even came here wanting to kill me? That he went to my office and tried to kill me? He's a monster.
I've overheard it a few times.
Well, sorry for not, yelling at you, but yelling at him. He is evil.
And so is this entire group?
Whoever the fuck is willing to follow him, sure. If they're willing to actually accept that whatever he thinks is like, the bread and the butter, the Bible. I don't even know how to explain it. I don't even know what he's trying to preach to these people. All I know is that I don't. There's some people that I think that are following him that are good people. So far, I know of a few names, but I don't think everybody's as fucked up as he is. I don't even know about Moss. Maybe YB's a part of that too. I don't even know.
I don't want YB to be part of it.
Do you know if YB's a part of it?
Fucking sadly, you seem to know everything.
Well, I seem to know everything. Melody, I hardly know everything. That's the whole issue of this.
Seem to know everything that Anarchy's fucking stupid just because Asher says it. His whole group says it. And you're not yelling at me calling my idea stupid even though I'm part of that group. Don't you fucking remember?
The fuck you mean you're part of that group?
I told you. Did you know on the first day?
No, I never even took it like that. When did you ever like explicitly tell me that? Oh, hi, roommate. I'm actually a part of this group of people.
You asked me about it. You're like, yo, you part of that little group over there? I'm like, I mean, they're fun to watch.
I didn't. Okay, now that you say that, I remember it. But no, I never took it as you were a part of it. I just assumed that you'd like know of them, that they were around. I assumed because of your friendship with YB. For you know, for all I know, that's probably what I thought. But no, I never thought that you yourself were a part of that. Now that we're talking about it, I know that your thoughts on government's a little skewed, but I mean, I can't fault you for that. I'm sorry that look. I don't mean to insult you. From what I know, you're actually a good person. I don't group you with the people that I think Asher's actually completely wrapped around, like Moss or Puffer. The last person I want to think that Asher's actually convinced is YB.
Sadly.
YB's a good kid. I told him that, but I don't blame him for the kinds of shit he's held against me recently. But the other day we did kind of make amends in a way where we're working together, and unfortunately, the first time we're now working with together, he's not. What?
Now you're yelling at him again.
I feel like he'd be yelling at me if it was the other way around.
Everything has to involve yelling. You were yelling at Asher. Asher wasn't even yelling at you.
You know who Asher is, right? I mean, you're in the group now.
Of course,
you understand
I know who Asher
he is.
He's...
So do I need to put it on a big fucking chart for you? The guy isn't sane. First off,
of course he's not.
Delusional.
Is he
he's
delusional
a dictator?
to think that anarchy would work?
You know what, Melody? I'm not even gonna grant you a response to that. I don't know. I don't want to see if that would work because I honestly think that we need a government to keep things in order. But I also don't think that Asher's even in the right place to lead people and to get them to believe in his ideals.
Just if what he said was true, if his dad actually died and he watched his dad die, and his dad stabbed him, that actually happened, and he's actually telling the truth for once. Do you really think getting mad at him is the right response?
Listen, whatever the hell he came in here to tell me about, him, doing whatever he did with the group of people, killing whoever he did, it still doesn't excuse the fact that what I know of Asher Wisp is a murderer. He's awful. He's no good. And I don't think he's capable of change. And I'm not going to believe any sub story he comes to my house and tells me about. When the last time he stepped in here, I was sitting on that chair, and he came into the door and said that he was going to kill me. It doesn't excuse anything. I don't want to look at it from another perspective. So what if he had to kill someone else? He's killed. The point here is that he's killing someone else.
Oh, really, YB killed somebody else because of him.
Yeah, now YB's killing for him. Can you believe that?
I don't want to believe it, but sadly I fucking have to.
Yeah, well, let's start to believe the fact that Asher isn't a good person either. So why the hell are we having this conversation?
Because you have anger issues.
I don't know about that, but I will tell you, yeah, I got angry at him, but I still reserve the right to.
You got angry at him? You started yelling at YB?
Okay, maybe I could have been nicer with YB and Moss, but Moss, I don't even know what Moss thinks of me. I thought we were okay, but after realizing who they were and who Asher was, for real, I don't even know where I stand. I shouldn't have yelled at YB. I get that, but Asher had it coming.
Of course Asher had it coming. Asher has everything coming. We all have something coming at us.
I
It's
just don't
just
know.
wild that you can't just have a discussion without getting mad.
Your first thing that you told me was that I have to start looking at it from a different perspective. Asher is not a book that I want to read about. That's not something I want to read. I don't want to get to know him. I know already, and I know enough from what I've seen from myself with my own eyes. I don't believe in who he is. I don't believe in who he wants to be. His ideals are the worst. And I don't believe anyone should actually be on the same page as him. You know what, Melody? If you want to have ideas about the government not being real, fine. But don't tell me your thoughts are exactly like his. Because
I don't mean
they're
it's not real. I mean it shouldn't. Some places shouldn't have government because government's a sham and sucks.
but governments have actually got us this far. That's what you're missing here. Marigold is still around because we had our government, and it's always been like that. History's full of that. There's a difference between the government and the anarchy that Asher Wisp is talking about. I can go on and on about ideals, especially the ones that he talks about, and I can talk about the ones that I think are right. And that's exactly what they are, ideals. And ideals are peaceful. It's history that's violent, and Asher Wisp is violent. I get violent when I have to. I don't want to. But when he comes to my office and to my home to kill me, best believe that I'm going to respond however appropriate. We're long past the point of where I can look at him and think that he's, you know, a better person or he's changing or whatever. No, he wants me dead. And if I have to kill him, I'll be the one that steps up to the plate. No one
Absolutely,
else should have to go through that.
absolutely he's deranged. Absolutely he's not in the right mind. Absolutely there's something fucking wrong with him. That's all something to look into of like, there's something wrong with this guy.
Oh yeah, like the fact that whenever someone threatens him, his first thing to yell out is like, "Somebody, yeah, like go ahead, kill me." Yeah, whatever the fuck that's about.
Jesus Christ, this guy shouldn't be leading people with suicidal fucking tendencies like that. And you could talk to Anna. I don't even know if Anna's a real therapist.
I don't know much about that. I just know that there's something wrong with Asher, and I don't trust him at all. I don't care what kind of sub story he tries to spin, who he tries to convince. The last person I want to get into this is exactly who you don't want to get wrapped into this is YB. YB's a good kid. I just don't think he's making the right decisions right now, and it's not going to go his way.
It's not good to yell at him and push him away thinking you aren't a safe place anymore. If he
Obviously, I
brings
don't.
something to you and your immediate response is to get angry at him, he isn't going to he's not going to think that's a safe place. He's going to avoid it.
I don't think he's ever found a safe place with me to begin with. I think the only reason he reached out to me the other day was just to make sure he's had some support,
And
which I'm
are
sure
you
he's got
supporting?
plenty of. I am trying, Melody. I really am. We were on the same page. We're all doing our part. Simon and I did ours. JD and YB did theirs, and we still don't know where to go from here. If whatever happened that they were doing, the thing in New Evergreen, if that's something that they've dealt with, we can move on. Cool. I know what's next. Something including Asphodel, and then JD and I figuring out what we do with the followers, and that's it. YB and I are not being partnered on this. That's something I didn't think he would want to do, nor would I. And I'm glad that's what's happening because I don't want to upset him anymore. I don't even know if I feel sorry for what I said. Obviously, I feel bad that I got mad at him, but am I sorry for saying something about it? I just don't trust that group of people, and I don't trust the path he wants to go down. I don't think he's a vice president now. Regardless if you and I or anyone else thinks that he's too young for the role, he is. There's no changing that. The people literally voted. You saw. Oh, you weren't there at the debate. Everyone literally stood on it on YB and JD's side of the auditorium. Right? They all clearly wanted JD and YB in power over me. If that's what they wanted,
everyone in this town's a fucking idiot then. Who can't see that a kid shouldn't be vice president, even if he has no power as a vice president. He shouldn't be vice president because that means if JD fucking keels over and dies, which is likely given the coal wants all of them dead, that leaves a child in power. Nobody needs that.
I don't think the people are idiots. It's just they know who I am. And what I'm trying to do is try to be better. But you're right. I shouldn't have fucking yelled at him when I'm trying to be better. It's just I don't know what to think about this whole him being involved with the people and what that could lead to. I truly don't.
And you're right, you're not in charge of whatever fucking shit Asher's going through because he's his own fucking person. He needs some fucking therapist to do that, but, we don't have one. You can be mad at him all you want. You don't have to take his apology because Wybie doesn't have to take your apology. You're not
Sorry,
entitled. Those people aren't entitled to taking any apology.
I didn't hear anything of what you just said. I just tuned out. Can you run that by me again? Can we actually sit down somewhere? I just need to think. Maybe outside? I just need some air.
Fine.
At least it's nice out. Okay. But
Yeah.
something needs to happen, and I don't know if YB plans on, being a part of this group of people with you and Asher and whoever else. But JD and I, we started seeing eye to eye. I don't know how far that's going to go. But Simon and I, we actually have a plan. If we can actually get elected, because right now JD and YB are just, in office. The election is going to determine if they, continue being in power, or Simon and I actually get lucky and get voted in. I don't know if the people want us to be voted in. It's just a matter of what I can say to them, that resonates with them. But I don't think there's anything I can say or do at this point. I don't know if there's anything I can say or do about Asher at this point. And on top of that, I don't even know what to do with Sharma. YB and I talked about it the other day when I was walking at home, and I don't really know if there's a set plan, for what happens to Sharma. Sharma being kept alive was my idea. I don't know if that's something JD wants to change. He was very, dodging the question about it, what he wants to do with him. Obviously, the followers' threats right now is to let Sharma go. So would JD just let him go, or would he just kill him? I don't think Sharma should die yet. But there's just so much to think about, and I'm sorry. I don't mean to lose my shit on you, because, you're actually, good. I don't think you're like Asher. I don't think you're like Moss. At least you haven't given me a reason to think otherwise.
Well, first of all, elections are just popularity votes, popularity contests, so I don't think you're going to be winning that election unless you can get really popular really quick.
Right.
Second of all, I don't even know if whatever the shit Asher's planning is lining up anymore.
Would it be so hard to ask if you could tell me what he's planning?
I don't know what he's planning anymore. That's the problem. I thought we had the same ideals of just, get rid of the government and then everything goes well, but he's working with the president. He's a bartender working for the guild.
Yeah,
That's
I still don't know how I feel about that at all. JD's just making the wrong choices left and right. the only right decision he's made in the last few days is whatever the hell he did in New Evergreen and agreeing to a return of the truce between him, myself, YB, and Simon. We were like a good group back then, right? Like I say back in the then or back in the day, but that was just months ago. It's just knowing that what happened with Sharma and how I left is just nothing will ever be the same again. And I think a lot of the power's just gone to JD's head, and I don't think he's making the right choices. Him and I are supposed to decide what to do next with the followers. I had an idea to send someone out to the followers, someone that isn't too prominent in town, someone who if they were to meet the followers, they could say, "Yeah, I want to switch sides," kind of thing. JD and I are going to figure that out, and also figure out what we're doing with Sharma. And if Sharma's time's limited, and it's all depending on the election, I have a lot of work to do. While you were out finding Lucky and all that, I've been in my office thinking of ways of what I can do once I'm back in power or once I'm out of power, like what I can do. There's something I haven't really told anyone. I mean, it's obvious that it's there, but I do have a underground facility kind of thing. It's not so advanced. I'm no scientist by any means. I know common stuff, but I'm trying to work on something, I was trying to find the source of the spires. What makes the spires? It can't just be something that Sharma just thinks of and grows. Like it has to be something there. And I fear that if Sharma's killed, we lose that power. And the marvel, the idea of what brines can do will be lost. Sharma has no kids. That means that there's no descendants. That means the power dies with Sharma, unless we can find a way to either mimic the power, extract the power from Sharma, leaving just the human. I mean, the guy's a demigod. He's killed me and I've killed him. And if JD kills him again, I think that would be it. So what I've been doing in my lab is figuring out what I can do with his power and whether or not I should tell JD about it. JD, just like Asher, is a complicated book. I just don't want to read it. But I feel like if I don't let him in, then it's just going to look bad on me. But then what am I saying about the last few days about whatever I'll do, I'll just accomplish anyway. Like with or without JD's what's the word I'm looking for? God. Without JD's approval, I was going to do anything. That's what Simon and I were talking about. And now that everyone's seemingly against me, except for maybe a select few people, I need to start thinking outside the box. I don't know where to start.
You could try an investigation. I don't know.
I just can't have Sharma die. Not yet. His thing is to, rot there. I've made this clear to him. But if it's clear that Sharma will be used against me or killed, I don't know what I have to do to, retaliate. I don't know. I just know I don't think I'll end up anywhere good if I do, but at the same time, this is something I need to do. I just hope I don't have to resort to it.
Well, what's the worst that could happen? The whole town hates you? You've already gone through that.
Yeah. And me being arrested is probably imminent. JD could be wearing a mask right now, convince me that, he's all for me. But once he wins, he could probably just say, yeah, I should go to prison for what I did. I don't know.
What you did was stupid, but if this place really has any laws, which I'm not even sure of. If they don't have any laws before you did it, but they make them after you did it, they probably can't do anything about that towards you.
No, there are laws. Laws that JD and I put in place when we first, established us being in, office. The only thing he could really get me for is desertion. I mean, if he really wants to go as far as siding with JD, if JD wants to side with Asher, then they could probably get me for assault with a weapon. But at least, there were times I was defending myself. That time at the guild, that was all me.
That only happens if whoever was hurt presses charges.
I'm sure Asher will press charges should he know he can.
But Asher wasn't hurt at the guild.
If YB and Asher are close, I bet YB would manipulate YB into, pressing charges into me.
Think you mean Asher would manipulate YB?
Did I? I'm sorry, I'm losing it. There's just so much to think about.
You really think I'm a good person?
I mean, you've been nice to me. You've been, cleaning up the house, living here. You showed me around that one time, and you've had nothing really bad to say about me. I'm not one to ignore constructive criticism, if that's what you want to call it, but I think you're a nice person, and I think you can be a good person.
What if that's all a facade? I mean, you don't really know me. We just live together.
Maybe we could get to know each other. We are living together.
That is true.
I mean, I know when we first really met in my basement, you kind of already know about me, what people say about me, and I think it was literally the exact wording you use was you learn a lot about someone when you're in their house or their stuff.
Yeah, your deed and your passport.
Yeah, some stuff on there. I'm sure there's my blood types on there. Who knows what? But I'm sorry you didn't get to know me for real. I'm sorry I've just been a mess. I haven't really been who I should be. I've just been focused on getting people to have faith in me again. I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for exploding on you earlier. And I'm sorry you had to see me explode on someone who shouldn't have deserved it. What about you? Something on your
What
mind?
about me? I don't know. It's just a lot. We barely know each other. Like, you barely know my blood type.
I I'm sorry. I don't know your blood type.
That's okay. I don't know my blood type either.
Like blood's blood, I guess. I don't know.
I could be the very rare blood type, or I could just be the boring old normal one.
I don't even know if that's a thing, but I wouldn't, you know, cross that off.
Well, I mean, there's the universal blood type, and then there's a bunch of other blood types, but I think there's like a very rare blood type. It's
Melody, I'm
like,
sorry. I don't know much about that stuff. That is all you. But
okay,
hey, at least we're learning something. Now I know that you're knowledgeable blood types, and now you know that I know fuck all.
wow, you really do know fuck all. How were you president?
Anyways, where where'd you come from originally?
What, like how I got here?
Yeah, like where were you previously before you stumbled onto Marigold, whenever that was?
Well, what I've told everyone is I fell out of the sky, which is true.
Is it, you actually follow the sky?
Well, yeah, I was flying and I fell out of the sky because I fell asleep.
That is the second time you said that, and now that I know I'm not crazy, you have said that. You said that when we were gonna go to San Jose. What do you mean by that?
I mean, I can fly?
You can fly.
I mean, not like a superhero would in comic books where they just kind of like fly around. Like, I mean, like I can grow wings and I can fly around.
I don't even know what to say to that.
Nobody knows what to say to it.
So you're not human. I mean, I know you're. Well, are you human?
Mostly. I explained this all to Puffer once.
Puffer knows this backstory of yours?
Like, not all of it, but just like it's a quarter of a shapeshifter.
Meaning what? Because when you say shapeshifter, I'm assuming you want to fill in that blank.
Like a full-on shapeshifter could turn into like my frogs out there, like one of those dogs. But my dad was half of that, and now I'm a quarter of it. So I can't really turn into those animals, but I can have like those attributes.
What kind of attributes? One of being wings, and then
Mm, I mean, like with shulkers, I can make armor appear on myself to protect myself.
okay,
If I wanted cat attributes, well, that's really embarrassing.
right.
But like I could land on my feet and not like get hurt. I could see in the dark, you know?
That sounds useful.
It is.
But you keep this form, I guess.
Well, I can't really change my form. I
Yeah,
can't
that's
even
what I
change my
thought. Yeah,
clothes. I don't have any clothes.
you do wear that a lot, though.
That's all I got.
Oh, I saw you wearing my jacket the one time.
Alright, that's all I got.
Yeah, you can still have that, by the way. But why not get newer clothes? You just like really comfy in that or something? Or
I don't know where to find new clothes.
sure, we could find something. I mean, maybe we'll go on a trip, see if we can just go find some clothes somewhere. I don't know. I don't know what would be your style. I don't know. I mean, you wear the suspenders.
Somebody noticed.
You'd be surprised at the things I just take notice of. But I will admit that there's a lot of things I don't clue in about. You know, you being in the conventus.
Right.
But now that I know that that's like the whole name, that's something. Anyway, but forget about that.
But yeah, I
So
fell out of the sky while flying and ended up outside your house.
is that all? You just walked in and that was it?
Well, I needed food. I was like, wow, this place is abandoned. I guess I'll just live here. Or at least hang out here.
Hmm. Well, then I guess you showed up after I left.
I think at some point, yeah. But I mean, I
Hmm.
do kind of have my own place, but this is this has food.
Isn't that where you said you went for the
Oh yeah,
almost week and a half you were gone?
yeah. I had to check on my animals.
So you have animals here that I was
Hmm.
feeding, and then you have animals over there that you feed every so often, or
Yeah,
and where is this other home?
about that way.
It's like a far travel or something, like just that way,
I mean, yeah, pretty far out. It's kind of underground.
right? But well, okay, fair enough. So where did you come from, like the place?
underground.
Yeah, but weren't there like others there with you, like family, friends?
That's way long ago, but dude.
That's what I was asking. Like, where'd you first come from? I mean, I'm sure you've been around. You've been like traveling above ground, underground, whatever.
I mean, I can't remember the place. I just remember the walls. But yeah, I had family.
Sorry if it's a sensitive topic.
It's
I don't
not
mean to pry.
much. It's not much of a topic when it's just not much happened.
I I can share a little bit about myself if that makes you feel better.
Go on.
I was from a smaller village, notoriously known for criminals, thieves, murderers, bounty hunters, that kind of thing. The only reason I was, alive for so long is that my dad was kind of like the head honcho over there. He just knew a lot of people, and since about the age of 6, they put a knife in my hand, eventually a gun in my hand, and I went thieving, stealing from people. You know, you know, just little jobs, I guess. Like stealing from people, lying, stealing, that kind of thing. But eventually, around my teens, I just started doing like bounty hunter stuff. Like I was given a contract, I went and you know took care of someone, and I get a payment. Um, One of my first diamonds is actually in my office. It's the one from before you went on your trip. We I showed you it. Remember that?
Oh, that's what that's for. I thought you meant like the first payment J Enterprises got in.
No, surprisingly, no. No, I did not frame that one. No, but yeah, and about around the time I was 17, 18, our village got attacked, and long story short, my parents both died. My mom kind of protecting me. She was her own person. My dad was the one that kind of abandoned us in the end, and then he came back and then died, and it was a whole thing. But I was like one of the last people to make it out of there. I was probably the only person who survived the massacre. I killed a few pillagers, and that was it. I wandered for a long time. I was running out of food that I could get my hands on. I collapsed, and then I woke up in this weird, like semi above ground underground base, and that's where I met Hollow. You called them blind, but he's really just mute.
Alright.
Yeah. He at the time had just gotten his powers. Uh, his father passed, so that meant he would get his powers. So that was around the time everyone was starting to like everyone who lived in this little society of his. They were like worshiping him, and Hollow rose to power, and he saw something in me that I don't think I ever saw in myself ever, and he decided to take me under his wing. Then some shit happened where that place was destroyed, and then we escaped. And then he and I found Nucion, in which we became its only president and vice president. I was his vice. And then there was a whole bunch of other stuff there. And I explained a little bit during the whole debate, but I know you were, at your other home. But yeah, I was trained to be a murderer from birth, but I never did it out of malice. I never done it out of, anger. Like, I get it, anger issues, sure, maybe I do have them, but, you know, I keep my wits about me. I know right from wrong. Whether I do right or wrong is up to me. But, you know, I think I'm a good person. I want to do good. I've only ever wanted to do good for the people I'm looked to lead. I was elected as president for a reason. People wanted me to be around, and I failed them. So when I came back and told them I'm not stupid, Melody. I know how it sounded when I came back saying, "Oh yeah, I changed," or I had like a vision that I could be something better. But I know how it must have sounded to a few people. So people like There and Rob, for example, There had this big freak out moment, and I don't even know if it's a freak out moment. It just seems so. It seems so real. He just exposed MBS as this criminal and killed him in front of everyone and just disappeared. And then when I went and spoke with Rob the one day before, I saw you in my office waiting for me. He was punching me. He was upset with me, and rightfully so, because he lost the election to me. Rob could have done a better job if he actually got in. Him and Futurs, whatever his name was, and that guy ended up dying, and now Rob's fueled even more to want to do good. But now his running mate is presumably dead, and I tell him about it. You came along with me to go tell him that his running mate and friend died, and then he gets shot and killed right in front of us. These people deserve so much better, and I worry if I can even do that, or if what I'm doing is just me lying to myself that I can actually do something. I truly want to do something. I want to do something for you. I want to do something for YB. I want to do something for JD, even the people that don't want like me. Do I think Asher would be better off dead? Maybe. But if he wants to actually be a part of Marigold, I will have to make Marigold a good place for him too. It's just with every other day that comes by, and I still don't know what to do about the followers. I don't know what to do about Sharma. I don't that I can even do something good. That maybe I am better off, not being back. Maybe I was better off dying when I went to New Sion to go face my demons. Maybe I shouldn't have come back at all. That's what I was thinking when I met Meredith Ballard for the first time off in the woods. She told me that she was looking for her brother. And I said, hey, I know who that is. After, she explained to me it's fucking YB, who I never expected. And gave her my compass, because I was sure that I probably would die out in the tundra. And if I was sure that my place was New Sion, I wouldn't come back. But now I am back, and regardless if the people want me in power or not, I still have to try to prove that I can do something good. So I know this all goes back to you liking the government, and I have to tell you again, I think the government is good, and I think the government can be good. Is it good right now? I don't think so. But I don't think it should be abolished. I don't think YB should be in power. I think JD's misguided. But who am I to fucking re-educate him? I've known the guy for a few years, and he and I served together in New Sion, and then he came here and he was my running mate, but I feel so much more distant from him. YB too. Simon's the only one who really seems to get me. And I was surprised he even wanted to be my, friend again. It sounds like I'm fucking talking about childhood friends, but that's just how it is. I want to do good so bad, but it's so hard being surrounded by people you want to do bad for. Do you know what I mean?
I'm sorry you had to be raised like that.
I'm sorry too. Nothing I could have done about it. That's all I never knew. Maybe it's just my mentality. Maybe that's why I have these, thoughts of like, well, maybe it's for the best, or maybe if I just do this one bad thing, it'll, make up for all the good things, or vice versa, At least I'm willing to do something bad to get somewhere good. At least I'm willing to go behind JD and YB and something that I know that people will like for, but I know they won't see me for that. I don't think
Yeah.
Marigold I don't think the people will ever see what I do as something good, but I know deep down it'll make some people happy. It'll do something good. I have to hope that, whether I get killed tomorrow or I go to prison. Melody, I've said this before. There's not a whole lot I can do. All I can do is, go to sleep and wake up in that bed and just hope for the best each and every day following. And it's people like Simon, people like you, people that I can have faith that maybe there's good here. And maybe I can be a part of that. I won't feel like I'm such a fucking outcast anymore. I'm nobody. And I don't seek attention. I do what I do without people even knowing. And I think that's an issue, but it's also a point of I don't need to prove myself. I just want to show them. And if they want to look, let them. And if they choose to bat an eye and not see what I'm trying to do, so be it. I'm not trying to be a people pleaser anymore. I just want to do good. That's the thing with politicians. Politicians will love to say whatever they want just to get people to vote them and to think that they know what they should do. But not a lot of people follow up on that. What I want to do is just do good. Forget the whole people pleasing and the promising. I want to make this place good for people like you, whether you like the government or not. I want to make this place good for Simon, where he's had, his shares of his past. I don't even understand what the whole old world is about. That's what Marigold is. I feel like a broken record every time I say it. It's for people to have a second chance. And while I may be fresh out, I want to do whatever I can while I'm still alive. I make it a good place for you, for Simon, for YB, for JD. When I'm around and even when I'm not around. When I'm alive and when I'm dead. And the only way I can make people take me serious is if I'm dramatic like that. But that's just the way it is. Because nobody else will take me seriously. No one else will want to hear me out.
I'll hear you out, even if I don't agree with most of the things you say.
Thank you. I don't deserve it, but I'm appreciative nonetheless. I'm sorry.
For what?
This place. I'm sorry that this is the place you came to, that people came to. I just want to make some good come out of it. I want to take care of the followers, figure out what to do with Sharma, whether or not I get into power or not. That's all there is. There's no
That's all you
bullshit, there's no
can do.
tricks. That's all I can do. You're right.
Best you can do is just to live.
It seems to be a challenge for some people recently. And I hate that. People shouldn't be killed by Asher. They shouldn't be killed by followers. There's good, innocent people that have lost their lives already, and people that are being taunted, harassed by these people that are just playing in the shadows while they're just jumping around. I don't even know if he's a part of it. I think he just does it. We saw him the other day. I don't know if you've seen him around. He's just jumping around, and then when you get close to him, he just disappears again. And it's not a ghost. It's him. And MBS, we have no idea where the fuck he even is. If he's dead or not. We tried checking the prison, we didn't see him there either. We don't know where he could be. We don't even know where the guy really lived. I know it's somewhere nearby. I don't think I'm familiar with his actual house. And Asher and Moss, the only person I really have respect for is Moss, but I don't think Moss has any respect for me just as much as Asher has respect for me. I don't even know what Asher thinks of me.
If you don't have Asher's respect, you most likely don't have Moss's respect. They're dating like that.
It's unfortunate. Because I think Moss is actually capable of seeing past Asher's bullshit, but I don't think that part will ever come. It's just unfortunate that I wish I knew who I was, talking to on my way here. I was talking to Moss, and I wish I knew where I was staying at, which was Devilstown. And I wish I knew who Moss's partner was, Asher.
Well, now you know.
Now I know. Months late. The one and only time Asher and I spoke before I came back here, before I was even knowledgeable. Asher and I spoke in the woods, and, it was almost like a relatable moment. We were just two strangers passing in the night. He said those words to me literally yesterday, if you were listening. I just didn't know who he was. Yeah, I actually forgot I did that. But now I realized that he was skillfully maneuvering me. He must have. There's no other way to say it. He was here when Sharma was attacking, probably days before Sharma even arrived. He was scoping out Marigold. He was waiting for something to happen, and he saw me leave. He saw my cowardice, and he took advantage of that. He and I spoke in the woods, and he saw me leave, knowing damn well he'd probably return in the morning and start, putting his foundations into Marigold, sinking his teeth in like the monster he is. I don't think he's capable of change. I want to believe it. I do. I can go on and on about how much I think I've changed, how I think other people change, but people like Asher, people like Sharma, they've killed. Asher's killed towns worth. Sharma's killed thousands, if not maybe even a million.
They've
I
killed,
just
but we haven't.
no. I've killed. Have you?
You gotta to survive.
I couldn't agree more. I had to kill one person since I've been in office, I guess. I don't want to say in power because it just doesn't seem right. I don't think we ever were in power, even back then. But when I went to New Zealand, I did kill someone. Someone who, well, was the person that, chased me out of New Zealand, my home. He was waiting for me, it seemed, waiting for someone to come back. He was trusted to be, the one follower to remain there. And I killed him. I don't know if I explained, but he's the one who did this to me. My eye.
Well, fair is fair.
But Skim was no demigod. He was no mass murderer. He just believed in ideals. Sharma's ideals. Do you think the Conventus members are capable of murdering for Asher based on his ideals?
Moss, most definitely. I don't know about the others. Puffer's impressionable, but also an alcoholic. Wybe's impressionable. Wybe has killed. The others are just, I don't know how they think about him right now.
Yeah. It's just a lot. It's always been a lot. Even when I wasn't here, everyone was just dealing with something. And I feel awful that I wasn't even here to help them. I was too busy being a coward. Thinking I was being selfless. Thinking I was doing something good for me or for others by just leaving.
Sometimes it's okay to be selfish.
But I wanted to be. And I think that's where I was wrong. I
Well,
wanted to
it's
be
okay.
selfless, but I was being selfish. And I wanted to be both at the same time. And I thought I was
Sometimes,
content,
sometimes you just need to be selfish.
but I want to be selfless.
Well,
I want to be honest with people. I want to be true to my word. I want to be smart. I want to know things. I want to be, in the know. I want to help. And I want
maybe
and I want to save people. I want to be. This sounds wrong to say, but I want to be their savior. I don't think it's solely on my shoulders, but I want to be someone that they can rely on, someone that can save them. But that means I have to kill, and I have to do bad things to get to that. And maybe it's just the way I was raised or just the way I see things, but I think I'm going to have to do those things. Should Marigold ever be okay again? I don't want to, but I've done it before, and I'll do it again. Giving my life and putting everyone over me just to make sure Marigold is safe. And I think that's exactly what I'm going to do going forward.
your first priority should be yourself, really.
Who knows how much time I have left? There's no time to think about myself. I want to think about everyone who likes me and everyone who hates me.
It's a terrible way to live.
I don't think I have much more time to live.
Fair enough, I
If
guess.
if Sharma isn't killed before I am, then I'll probably be killed before Sharma. And if Asher ever, thinks to come attack me in my sleep or just when I'm out and around, then that'll be my death too. It's like this whole town is just a minefield, and I'm just expertly just dodging them. But I know I'm gonna trip one of these days. I'm gonna do something stupid. Whether it actually had a good or bad outcome, and I just don't know how to go about that. I don't know if I can, but I know I will, because at least I have people that understand what I say, like you, like Simon, like some others that have actually expressed their you know acknowledgement of what I have to say. My audience during my little speech a few weeks ago wasn't too thrilled, but there's some people that let me know what I was saying was okay to a point. But this is probably the most honest I've been, and I'm glad it was you. I don't mean that with a question, but
You can trust me so easily, but I'm part of that group. I could sell you out for all you know.
you can also help me take down that group.
That's between you and that group guy.
Would you
I
sell
just
me
want
out,
to take a
Melody?
vacation. Did I sell you out?
Would you?
I don't know. We'd have to
Hmm.
see. Would you sell me out to anybody? I
Is there
just
anyone
admitted to you that I've killed before.
I've killed too to survive, right?
Now you're catching on.
Then you have nothing to worry about. Not for me, at least.
Secret safe with each other, I guess.
This is like a roommate's kind of like pinky promise or something. Like,
What stays in the house stays in the house. I don't know. We're not really in the house though, so.
well, we're just getting to know each other. I'm trying not to judge you by a cover, and I assume you're trying not to do that with me.
Well, we're actually just reading the pages now.
I think we're a few chapters in. Yeah, I think we skimmed a few pages, but
Skipped a few pages as well.
for the record, I never once judged you.
I definitely judged you on being a former president and all that, but
Yeah, well, I mean, you had the whole house to look at me by. You said it yourself, so I don't blame you.
yeah. And you know everyone else's opinions.
Hmm. Listen, it's getting late. Um, I think either tomorrow or the day after, JD and I will be, figuring out what we do, Charm and all that. Maybe then I can finally get an answer as to, what comes with the election.
Yeah.
I I appreciate this talk. I'm glad we took it from a very, you know, up here to a down here.
Yeah.
Thank
It's just a
you for
lot.
listening. It is a lot, and I don't want, I never want to over, but this is just the current climate of everything. Thank
Well, at
you, by the
least,
way. Yeah,
yeah. At least it was talked about instead of bottled up.
yeah. Maybe we did some good for each other today.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, it was good getting to know you a bit better, Melody. Really. It's a lot better knowing that you're more than just anarchy, and I don't know. Maybe you can look at me and maybe think I'm more than just government.
I can definitely try.
As long as you try for me, I can try for you.
I'll try.
That's all we can always ever do, right? Anyone in Marigold, for that matter, just
Yeah.
trying. Uh,
Ow.
One thing I was going to ask, if you don't mind me asking,
Shoot.
is you said you had a home that you've been frequently visiting. You've gone there for almost 2 weeks. You have everything over there. You're away from Marigold. You're away from the drama, the bullshit. You got pets there. You got everything you would want. Why come back here to this house of all places?
Well, I have pets here too, but I don't know. It got lonely.
Hmm. Okay, and that's a solid answer. It's good having you around, and for the time being, I did enjoy feeding the frogs. I can keep doing that if you'd like. I don't mind it.
We can take
Ooh,
turns.
sure. Well, I mean, I have my dogs too, right? And if I feed your frogs, you can help feed my dogs.
And the cats.
And the cats. How could I ever forget the cats?
Yeah.
Well, okay, we got that out of the way. Um, all right. I hope you have a good night, Melody.
You have a good night too.
All right. I'll see you in the morning. All right.
Right.
Yeah, I know we're headed the same way. You go first.
Right.
All
So
right.
bounty hunter, huh?
We'll talk more about that another day. All right. I'll
I'm
see
just
you.
saying that maybe explains why you liked Azazel. Anyway, good night.
Interesting. Suddenly, I don't feel so hopeless.